For the ones that have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just the idea that if you look at it, it sees you, you see it, and the rest is history. Your life is now ended. Could humanity actually adapt to the creatures? Would there be a way? We know that they use bird boxes, obviously, not to fight against it, but to know if they were even there. Will you be okay? Should you be okay? Theoretically. At the same time, could there be another way to adapt to this? How would the military actually handle this? Would it have been as chaotic as it was in the movie? It was wild. I'm not gonna lie. You've seen a lot of crazy mess going on real quick, all because someone looked at it. We don't know where they came from. Doesn't tell you all that. It's just the idea. If this was real, what would you do? Just stay home, not look outside. You really would have to just travel outside and keep a bird box with you. That's the only way you would really navigate this world. But how many lives would be lost before they really started to figure that out? What about the people who wanted others to see it? The crazy ones, theoretically the crazy ones. The people who could adapt so well and say, look at it. Those people. How could you become one of them and still be sane? Or would you have already lost your mind? Is it possessing you? These are the questions that we wonder. In today's day and age, do you think the sensors that we have, do you think they could make sensors around these specific monsters, creatures, aliens, whatever, entities even? Do you think they could make sensors that would detect them? Would there be some type of DNA that would fall off maybe over time, or maybe ectoplasm? We don't even know if they're ghosts. We know they're living beings, but it doesn't tell us anything like that. So how could you survive? What would you do aside from looking outside? It's definitely one of those ideas that definitely sound good, but at the same time, I think the longer that we start to think about the movie, the worse it actually gets. You know what I mean? It's like when you really start to dissect the idea of bird box, all it is just entities. But the point is, if we was to go through something like that, how drastic would it change? Would it really be like the movie? That's what I'm getting at. I think that in the beginning, once it first starts, there will be a lot of scary situation scenarios, and people would be, going through the bird box, how it does in the movie. I think it'll work just like that for a little bit, and then people would just easily adapt to it. The only problem is you would just get the crazies, but I think we'd be able to take out the crazies over time before it actually became a huge issue. As a whole, humans would learn to adapt faster to the situation way before the mass extinction, people dying off so fast. I think that we would have adapted way faster than what was shown. All you have to do is just not look, stay away from some crazy people. It's kind of an easy premise when you think about it. It's like, okay, that's basically it. I mean, when you think, like I said, would I give it a 10? I wouldn't give it a 10. It sounds like a 10 until you start to think about it and you're like, oh, okay. I would give it maybe a solid 4. The movie itself, though, they actually did their thing. But because it didn't really have too much grip with the storyline part 2 is, that's a little wonky. They did a whole Barcelona skit, and it's like, boy, I don't know. That's why they haven't done a third Bird Box. It's kind of washed up. Like, you can't really make a third one. It's just going to be the same as the first, technically. So it's like, starts to fall apart, because it's like, okay, you guys got to start revealing where these creatures come from. It can't just be, we never know what the creatures are. We never see them. You see what I mean? It can't ever be that. Technology as a whole, and from sensors to radio waves, they would figure out a way to be able to connect themselves to the creatures. Not exactly see them, but learn what they are. Humanity would be able to do that. I firmly believe, especially with the technology today, and it's a little odd premise. It's just the idea of it, though. That's just my thoughts about it. If humanity wakes up tomorrow and there's entities out there that make you do heinous things to yourself in those ways, yeah, it would be alarming, but it's not going to be damning to the humanity of civilization. You see what I mean? It ain't going to be like that, man. It'll be bad. No, trust me. It'll be terrible, horrible even, but not to the point where uh you look at it and it's gone. I think the happening is a way worse scenario because that's Mother Nature, and you gotta breathe. And we are. I'll make a whole video about that in the future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. The premise of Bird Box, I think it was a solid premise for the beginning of it. And once you actually start to have more questions, it starts to really get nasty. And it's like, the movies. I remember what went on Netflix. It used to be the top movie. Everybody was talking about, have you seen Bird Box? And it's good. And then you're like, it leaves more questions than anything, and you never get an answer on it. And then at that point, it's just like, I don't really care because there's no lore to keep it going. You see what I mean? So the fan base of the movie is like, we don't know what it is. And it's like, anybody can make something where you don't know what it is. I will see you all in the next one. That's all I got.